Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tulley, Executive Writing Coach and President of Defend and Publish. Welcome to episode 48. Sometimes you need to look up. I was inspired to record this episode after spending a full week looking at a screen. So like many of us at this time of year, I'm hunkered down grading in Canvas. I was doing a lot of online essay grading for my first year writing students. I also had to watch some required webinars for our health insurance. I attended an online conference. I also spent some time working on my own writing, so I was on a screen there. I used my phone a lot to get in a giant text chain about some tickets for a football game. And just in general, I was online a lot. It just what seemed like more than normal and enough that I thought, my eyes are tired. I need to get some of those like blue light glasses to look at all these screens. And then what I decided to do in this week, because I just felt like the whole week was gone. I had just looked at a screen and that's all I had done. I really spent some time thinking about what could I do to make sure that even though I'm busy, I don't feel that same way. And how I decided to do this was I just had a couple of Post-its scattered around that just said, look up. That's it. It just said, look up. I've already talked about in many episodes how much I love Post-its. They're everywhere. But one of the things that this did then was show me some things just throughout my day, throughout my week that just sort of recharged my batteries. And I thought it would be interesting in this episode just to show you what I noticed when I actually looked up. So these aren't going to be groundbreaking pictures. I'll describe what they are for audio listeners, but there is a connection to scholarship and writing. So let me show you what those look like. And it's not very many, it's just a couple of them. So one of the first pictures that I took was when I was backing out of my driveway in the morning. Yes, some cars have backing cameras, mine does not. And one of the things that I am very, very guilty about doing is backing out of the driveway and of course, making sure I don't hit anybody behind me. But also once I do that, I drive away from our house and I never look at it again or give it a second thought. It's because I'm already in a mode that I'm on my way to work. So this time I just took an extra minute to look up to see what I noticed. And one thing that I noticed for those of you that are watching this on YouTube is I have no idea what kind of plant or bush this is, but one of our plants has a flower growing out of it. So I think it might be a mum. I don't know, anybody who's a plant person can weigh in. But I would have never noticed that, or I probably wouldn't have known that plants bloom at this time of year. I don't actually take care of these. So I just thought that was really interesting. I just looked up, I caught that one little moment. Here's another one. Went to get a cup of coffee. Everyone who listens to this podcast knows I like coffee. And one of the things I noticed is on the side of one of the places I like to get coffee. So shout out to Bread Needs in Findlay, Ohio, but they have a new mural on the side of the building. I am guessing that mural has been there probably for 2 years before I ever looked up and noticed it. So it used to have something else on the wall and I noticed they started painting it. So the mural is just a black and white, kind of a chalkboard looking mural. It's cool. So if you want to check out the pictures on YouTube, you can. But just the fact I walk in there all the time. I never even looked at the wall, and I know why, because I was probably double checking a quick email as I was walking, seeing how much time I could get away with, being away from whatever I was supposed to do. A lot of times I just use that to, check off a couple of things or delete a few emails, even on the walk into the building. And I know a lot of us are really, really guilty of that. Here's another one. This is a busy intersection in Findlay where I work, and the sky was just gorgeous this day. So at this intersection, this is a notoriously long intersection where if I hit a red light, I can reasonably count on 5 minutes. So like many people, even though it's not a good habit, I'm looking at my phone. Lots of times I'm like throwing away things that are sitting on my seat. I'm making sure I have everything in my bag for another meeting. And this day I just sat there for the whole 5 minutes and just looked up, and I saw, this is the view that I saw, these gorgeous clouds. It was a sunny day. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that a week ago. If it was sunny, if it was raining, I don't know. If I was at that intersection, I guarantee my face was probably in my phone or in my bag. But just that 5 minutes to just sort of say, hey, yeah, there's the sky, there it is, was really, really engaging. Another thing that this is probably the most interesting find all week is what we're looking at right now is the side of a file cabinet with all kinds of art from my kids from schools over the years. But what's there is a conference name tag, and what's attached to it, it's kind of hard to see in the picture, is a small silver chain with a star on the end. This is a necklace that I bought in London that a couple of years ago that I love. It always reminds me of playing guitar and taking guitar lessons in London, something that I do. Shout out to the London Guitar Academy. You guys are amazing. And I thought I had lost this necklace. I hadn't seen it in 2 years. And one of the things I did in London was go to a conference, and somehow those two things got attached to each other. It probably came home in my suitcase that way. Why it ended up on the wall of my file cabinet, I don't know. I probably was just throwing some things up there, just to decide what I was going to do with them. But I've been missing that necklace for 2 years, and there it was when I looked up. So a couple other things that you might find, you might be unexpectedly, maybe an unexpected bonus of looking for them. Another thing I found, which is not from looking up per se, but from studying this picture, is a book that I thought I had also lost on the floor of my office, which is in this picture. So when I loaded it into the presentation, even though I was looking at a screen, I actually found something else. So that was a nice bonus. And this is the view. The next picture I'm showing is the view from the Schaefer Library steps at the University of Findlay's campus. And again, I'm always, making sure I have everything in my bag and mentally thinking computer, a cord for my laptop. Do I still have my phone? Do I know what's happening? Do I have, everything I need to go to class? Do I have a mask? Because I'm going to need that when I go to my next class again. And I would have completely missed this gorgeous, fall picture with trees turning color, and it just looks like a very nice part of campus. I also noticed by looking up, this brick circle that's in front of the library steps now has a Potter. That wasn't there before. At least I don't think so, because I never look up. And then the last one I want to show you is, again, this is a different day, but one of the things I, sometimes do is pick up a cup of coffee. And when I was in the drive-through, there was somebody in front of me that had a fall wreath around their tire. They had all these interesting bumper stickers. I don't know who this was. And their license plate said "My Calm" on it. And it was really, really cool. The whole car had a very calming presence about it. I really wanted to ask the coffee baristas what that person's order was. But normally at this point, if I'm sitting in a long drive-through line, you can bet I have my planner out. I'm making a list of tasks. I might be, making sure I have everything. I might be flipping through email, but just sitting there and just patiently waiting and looking up, it was great. And so all of this is to say that, at this time of year, we're doing this now in November of 2021, things are busy, grading is falling on us. We're on a bunch of committees. Many graduate students are trying to wrap up research for the semester. Some are doing dissertation defenses if they're defending in the fall. And we're just all really, really busy. And at least in the US, where we have a holiday season coming, sometimes that just adds more strain and extra things that wouldn't be there in the normal part of the year, even though it might be a joyful time of year as well. So, looking up really taught me a couple of things during this past week. And one of which is that I know I had just did an episode on the 15-minute writing session. It was our past episode. That one would have been episode 47. And I know I just did that one about, trying to use these 15-minute slices, but there is something to be said about, these moments when you get done with research or have looked at or finished with research and you had looked at screens, for 2 hours, about just looking up, where your writing space is and just noticing things. And at least for me, I just find that calming and a way to reset amidst all of the busyness. So hopefully you'll find that helpful. Maybe take a few pictures on your phone. You want to share them on Twitter and show us what you found when you looked up. It's, it really was sort of amazing that all this stuff had been happening all around me while I was just going on busy academic world. This is a time that you might be able to think through some of that. So one thing that I mentioned in our previous episode, but I want to say that again, is that we are offering those free 30-minute consultations. And a lot of people think they have to come to us with writing problems to do one of those, but lots of people use them for time management. So if your schedule has completely gotten out of whack, you want to be able to use it a little bit more efficiently, or you're just overwhelmed, use the 30 minutes for that. It could be really time well spent. It's no strings attached, no obligation. You just talk to somebody that's an experienced writing coach for 30 minutes, get a couple strategies, and you can walk away if you think that, some of those strategies might work for you. Lots of times we suggest resources, so something to get out of it in that way. But I encourage you to check out that. It's a great way to take advantage of all the things that Defend and Publish has to offer. So thank you for listening today, and happy writing, everyone.